Hi, in this video we're going to take a look at different types of compound sentences. We're going to review some examples of compound sentences with coordinate conjunctions as well as compound sentences with conjunctive adverbs. So we're going to look at some sample sentences. Say we look at this first sentence here. We're going to form a compound sentence using one of the coordinate conjunctions. They're listed here. We can also remember them with the acronym FANBOYS. When we use these coordinate conjunctions to join two independent clauses to form a compound sentence, we need to use a comma. So in this first example, two friends went out to eat. The restaurant was closed. We have to figure out which of these coordinate conjunctions to use. Two friends went out to eat. The restaurant was closed. So we're showing contrast in the terms of the ideas or the meaning of these two sentences. So we can choose to use either the coordinate conjunction but or yet. So I'm going to add a comma here because we need a comma because we're joining these two independent clauses using coordinate conjunction but. So our sentence reads, two friends went out to eat, but the restaurant was closed. Okay, so that's one example. Here's another example. We're going to look at number 3. This one's a little bit different. Marta did not want to choose a different restaurant. Blank did Evelyn. So we have a clue here. In this case, our verb comes before the subject. And there's only one coordinate conjunction where we generally invert or change the order of the verb and the subject. And that is our coordinate conjunction nor. So let's put it in here, put in a comma, and use the coordinate conjunction nor and see if it makes sense. Marta did not want to choose a different restaurant, nor did Evelyn. So it does work in this case. We use nor when the meaning of the first independent clause is negative. We can see that it's negative because we have the word not. And the meaning of the second clause is also negative, but it's only marked as negative with the coordinate conjunction nor. So this sentence means that Marta did not want to choose a different restaurant, and also Evelyn did not want to choose a different restaurant. So let's look at one more example here. Marta and Evelyn were very hungry. They went to the grocery store to buy a frozen pizza. So in this case, the reason that they went to the grocery store to buy a frozen pizza is because they were very hungry. In this case, we can use the coordinate conjunction so. So the reason or the cause is that they were very hungry, and the result, or the effect, what they did because they were hungry is they went to the grocery store to buy a frozen pizza. And again, we have to remember to add our comma. Next, we're going to look at sentences with conjunctive adverbs. Here we have an example. People are always trying to lose weight with fad diets. For example, some people eat only pineapple to lose weight. So when we're using conjunctive adverbs, something like for example, and we're joining two independent clauses, we need to use a semicolon before the conjunctive adverb and a comma after it. So here we're asked to write a sentence, a compound sentence about the internet using for example or for instance. So I'm going to write a compound sentence. I love the internet. Semicolon, we don't want to forget the semicolon, then put in our conjunctive adverb, for instance, comma, after the conjunctive adverb. I spend 18 hours per day online. No, that's an exaggeration. I don't really spend 18 hours per day online, but it sounds kind of funny. So, I love the internet. We want to find out, is this actually an independent clause? Could it stand alone as a sentence? Well, we've got a subject I, and we've got the verb love, and it's a complete thought. So yes, that works. Let's look at the other clause. I spend 18 hours per day online. We've got the verb spend, we've got the subject I, and it's a complete thought. So yes, it is an independent clause. So in order for us to create a compound sentence, we need to make sure that both clauses are independent, that they could stand alone as sentences. And when we connect them with a conjunctive adverb, we need a semicolon before the conjunctive adverb and a comma after it. So the last thing we're going to look at is punctuation. So different types of sentences require different punctuation. So we'll look at a couple of examples here. I had a difficult morning because my alarm did not go off. So if we take a look at this sentence, we actually do not have any prepositional phrases in it. So I'm going to move on then to identify verbs. Here we have the verb had. So I'm going to highlight that. We have the subject I'll underline that, I had. We have another clause here because my alarm did not go off. We've got did as our helping verb and go as our main verb. Not is just an adverb. And what did not go off? My alarm. So alarm is the subject. I'll underline that. So we do have two clauses, but we have to ask ourselves, is this a compound sentence? The first clause, I had a difficult morning. That is an independent clause. It could stand alone as a sentence. But this second clause, because my alarm did not go off, that leaves us hanging. That's actually not an independent clause. It could not stand alone on its own because of the word because. So that is something that pertains to complex sentences. So I'm just going to write here that this is not compound. And it's actually correct as it is. It is punctuated correctly. It does not need any punctuation added. It's not a compound sentence. So let's look at this next example here. I woke up late and didn't have time to eat breakfast. So again, we have no prepositional phrases. We've got the verb woke. And who woke up late? I did. I is the subject. We also have these verbs here. Didn't have, helping verb, didn't, and main verb have. And what subject goes with that? Who didn't have time to eat breakfast? I. So the same subject I goes with both of those verbs. So this is actually not a compound sentence either. Remember that a compound sentence has to have two independent clauses, and this is actually just a simple sentence. It has more than one verb, however, it does not have more than one subject, and a compound sentence would need two distinct independent clauses. So this one is actually correct. It does not need any additional punctuation. So let's look at one more of these. I got dressed and ran out the door, but I missed the bus. So first step, I'm just going to see if I have any prepositional phrases so that I can ignore those. And in this case, we have the preposition out. So if I ask out what? Out the door, I can identify the end of the prepositional phrase. Then I'm going to look for verbs. Okay, we've got I got is a verb. Okay, ran is a verb. And who got dressed and ran? I did. So I is our subject. Looking at the second part of the sentence here, we've got the verb missed. I'm going to highlight that. And who missed? Who missed the bus? I did. So I'm going to underline that. So here we do have two independent clauses. I got dressed and ran out the door. Could be a sentence all by itself. I missed the bus. That also could be a sentence all by itself. So it is a compound sentence, and in this case it's joined by the coordinate conjunction but. So when we're using a coordinate conjunction like but to connect the two clauses to form a compound sentence, we need to add a comma. So that's the punctuation that we need in that sentence. So it's best to go through and carefully analyze each sentence before determining what punctuation to use.